Hello students, I welcome you to an amazing learning experience which will make your dull and boring geography lessons very interesting. And today we are going to start Chapter 3 Water Resources of CBSE NCERT Class 10 Social Studies. Let's see, the chapter name comprises of two words. First one is water and the latter one is resources. What is water? Water is a chemical combination of two hydrogen and one oxygen in science terms. But for humans, it is much more than that. It is the only liquid supporting life on earth. From brushing our teeth in the morning to taking bath or washing clothes or utensils or electricity, for everything we need water. And what is a resource? To understand the chapter name Water Resources and how water is a resource, it is very important to understand what is a resource first. Let's see. Resource is any physical material. Physical here means which we can see, touch and feel. All the things we see around or the air we feel is physical. And material here means from which we can make something. For example, if we make house from bricks, bricks is a material. If we can say table is made of wood, wood is a material. So, physical material means the things which we can see, touch and feel and from which we can make something. So, any physical material constituting part of earth, that means it should be available on earth. If any resource is available on another planet, अगर वो किसी और planet पर है तो humans को available नहीं होगा and we cannot use it. So, physical material available on earth that people need and value. कोई भी ऑब्जेक्ट है वो तब तक रिसोर्स नहीं बनता जब तक ह्यूमंस को उसकी जरूरत ना हो. ओके, सो इट मस्ट बी रिक्वायर्ड बाय ह्यूमंस. Natural materials become resources when humans value them. They can be used by humans directly or modified. अब for example, water को ले लेते हैं. पानी हम डायरेक्टली भी पी सकते हैं और हम उसमें चाय पत्ती ऐड करके चाय भी बना सकते हैं. उसमें नींबू और शक्कर ऐड करके हम शिकंजी भी बना सकते हैं. So we can use it directly or we can modify it according to our needs and by using a suitable technology. See here, for example, we can make tea and lemonade, which is not pure form of water, which is the modified form. So now we have understood what is a resource and we have understood what is water. Now, if we go by this definition, water fits every criteria. So here we are trying to prove if water is resource or not. Okay, water fits every criteria. It is naturally occurring. We cannot create water. It is not a human made thing. It is gifted to us by the nature. So it's naturally occurring. It is useful to humans. Humans use water in lots of things. We use water for domestic purpose, for industrial purpose, for tourism, for everything. We can use it directly and modify it. Okay, remember that tea and lemonade example and normal water. So we can use it directly and modify it. Even the soft drinks in the market, that's the Coke, the Pepsi, it has basic content as water. So it is also modified form. So here we can say that water is a resource. Finally, we have reached a conclusion that water is a resource to humans. Now let's combine these two words, water, resources, and see what water resources are. बेसिकली वाटर रिसोर्सेज वो जगहें होती हैं जहां से ह्यूमंस पानी लेते हैं इस्तेमाल करने के लिए. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपकी वेल्स हो गई, रिवर्स हो गई, आपके टैप्स हो गए, ये सब क्या है? वाटर रिसोर्सेज हैं. तो वाटर रिसोर्सेज आर दो सोर्सेज विच वी करंटली यूजिंग. करंटली यूजिंग मीन्स like for example lakes, rivers, ponds, wells, tap and even rainwater, which we are currently using to satisfy our needs and which we are using in our day-to-day life, or which we are not able to use today but can be used in coming years as technology advances. सिर्फ हम उन्हीं को consider नहीं करते water resources जिनको हम आज use कर रहे हैं. अगर हम उन्हें फ्यूचर में भी कभी यूज कर सकते हैं, चाहे आज नहीं भी कर पा रहे, वो भी वाटर रिसोर्सेज में आएंगे. फॉर एग्जाम्पल ग्लेशियर्स एंड आइस कैप्स. आज तक ह्यूमंस इनको अपने कंजम्पशन के लिए यूटिलाइज नहीं कर पाए, वो टेक्नोलॉजी डेवलप नहीं हुई, बट स्टिल दे आर वाटर रिसोर्स क्योंकि इन फ्यूचर में बी दे कैन बी यूज्ड बाय इम्प्लीमेंटिंग सर्टेन टेक्नोलॉजी. हियर वी कैन सी इन द पिक्चर what resources we have and what is percentage they are present on earth. So, the earth is covered with water, and that has 97% of oceanic water, which is brackish and salty water. Only 3% is fresh water, which is fit for human consumption. This 3% of water is further divided into ice caps and glaciers, that is 79%, and groundwater, 1% of accessible surface water. Groundwater वो होता है which we get from underground, जैसे wells से लेते हैं, hand pump से लेते हैं, that is groundwater. Accessible surface water जो surface के ऊपर ही हमें मिल जाता है, this 1% is further divided into lakes, that is 52%. Water within living organism, human body is 60% made of water. So water within living organism, rivers 1%, water vapor 8%. Water vapor is the water present in the atmosphere. Water in the soil 38%. So this is the division of water on entire earth. Here are a few examples for you to understand better what are water resources. First one is the river. Okay, we can fetch water from river, so it is a resource. Second one are the oceans. Oceans का जो पानी है वो हम पहले नहीं use कर सकते थे few years back because it is salty and brackish and not fit for human consumption. But now, as the technology advances, we can perform a process called desalination, in which we remove the salt from the water and make it fit for drinking. We will discuss it in future chapter, what is desalination. But after performing desalination, this oceanic water can be used. So it is also a resource. Third one is rainwater. Rainwater we can use directly by storing it in tanks and reservoirs, or rainwater get absorbed in soil and becomes groundwater. It goes underground through the soil and it becomes groundwater, and then we can use it through wells. Here you can see it's a groundwater. We are fetching it through a well, जिसको आप हिंदी में कुआं भी कहते हैं. Now, before going any further, let's discuss some eye-opening and amazing facts related to water which will keep you shocked. First one is, nearly 71% of the earth is covered by water in the form of oceans, seas, rivers, ice, groundwater and moisture. Now question arises, अगर इतना पानी है, then what is the need of water conservation? Then read the second half of this fact. But most of it is not fit for human consumption. We cannot consume this water. So what is the actual percentage that is fit for human consumption? Let's see. Out of that 71% of water, only 0.006% is actually available for us, which we humans can use. And this is very small percentage. Imagine this is the percentage the whole of the world is sharing to fulfill their daily basic needs. This one is really shocking. There are around 1 million miles of water pipelines and aqueducts in US and Canada. That means these 1 million water pipelines and aqueducts, अगर हम इन्हें जोड़ दें, तो they are large enough to circle the globe 40 times. This is really huge. If we combine all the aqueducts of US and Canada and their pipelines together, then they can circle the globe. वो globe को चारों ओर जो है cover कर सकते हैं 40 times. Now please read this one very, very carefully. 748 million people in the world do not have access to improved source of drinking water. 748 million people. You are lucky that you have taps and aquaguards and ROs to clean your water, but everyone is not that lucky. 748 million people in the world do not have access to improved source of drinking. That means, for example, either they don't have any taps or hand pumps or well, or if they have, they do not have fresh water. The water is contaminated. It is not fit for human consumption. वो जो पानी है वो गंदा है. You can see in the picture, ये जो women है, she is extracting water. इनके पास कोई tap नहीं है, कोई well नहीं है. She is fetching out groundwater which is filthy and unfit for human consumption. Some 1.8 million people worldwide drink water that is contaminated with feces. Now what is feces? Feces is animal or human waste. You can see here in the picture, this is animal waste here in the water and this is human waste. It is going in the water. वही पानी जो यहाँ के आसपास के रहने वाले हैं, जो पीने के लिए यूज करेंगे अपनी डेली चीजों में, वो कंटेमिनेटेड है कितना ज्यादा. और ऐसे वर्ल्ड में 1.8 बिलियन पीपल हैं जो ऐसा पानी यूज कर रहे हैं. So you must conserve water. This one is, there is more water in atmosphere than in all of the rivers combined. Here you can see in the picture the river. Here river represent जितनी भी हमारे अर्थ पर rivers हैं, उन सब का पानी अगर हम कंबाइन कर दें तो जितना एटमॉस्फेयर में पानी है वो ज्यादा है. इट्स मोर एज कंपेयर टू दैट ऑफ रिवर्स. रिवर हैज लेस वाटर एज कंपेयर टू दैट ऑफ एटमॉस्फेयर. This one is for all of us. A bath uses up to 70 gallons of water. A 5-minute shower uses 10 to 25 gallons of water, and this is too much. So next time when you like to have a gala time in shower and all the thinking in shower, please keep it in mind that water is very precious and we must conserve it for that 1 billion people who are drinking water with feces and who are drinking contaminated water. Please save water. Education does not only means having good marks or having good jobs. It means having awareness regarding the issues of our world and try and solving them. The next topic in the chapter is water scarcity and its causes. Water scarcity. What is the dictionary meaning of scarcity? Insufficiency or shortness of supply. इसका मतलब है कि जब किसी चीज की कमी होती है या कोई चीज जितनी जरूरत है उतनी नहीं होती, इसका मतलब उसकी स्कैरसिटी है. तो हम इसमें देखेंगे कि व्हाट इज वाटर स्कैरसिटी एंड इट्स कॉजेज. ऐसी क्या चीजें हैं दैट कॉजेज वाटर स्कैरसिटी. वाटर स्कैरसिटी इज लैक ऑफ सफिशिएंट अवेलेबल वाटर रिसोर्सेज टू मीट वाटर नीड्स. Lack of sufficient available water resources. That means the water which is required by the people should be available to them. If that much water is not available, that means the water is scarce. जितनी जरूरत है उससे कम होना पानी का water scarcity कहलाता है. Water scarcity is of two types: physical water scarcity and economic water scarcity. Let's see what these scarcities are. Physical water scarcity is situation when water is not abundant enough to meet all the demands, or water seems abundant but where resources are overcommitted. Physical means dependent on place. So this type of scarcity is dependent on the physical factors of a place. Let's see the first point here. Water is not abundant enough to meet all the demands. For example, in Rajasthan or desert areas or arid areas, जहाँ पानी sufficient होता ही नहीं है, वहाँ water resources sufficient होते ही नहीं हैं to meet the demands of people. Or you can see the second point. Water seems abundant but where resources are overcommitted. यानी resources तो हैं more than enough, but जो demand है that is more than resources. For example, Delhi or any metro city where water is abundant but the population is too much, or there are so many commitments which require water, so the water is felt scarce there. The second one is economic water scarcity. Economic water scarcity, here you can see that is related to investment. Economics means money or investment. This type of scarcity is caused by lack of investment in water infrastructure or insufficient human capacity to satisfy the demand of water. For example, this type of scarcity is in poor countries. Some parts of India also, but this type of scarcity is more in Africa. इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, लैक ऑफ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का मतलब क्या है? जैसे प्रॉपर टैप्स ना होना, प्रॉपर वेल्स ना होना, प्रॉपर ट्यूबवेल्स ना होना. लोगों के पास जब प्रॉपर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर ही नहीं है, प्रॉपर रिसोर्सेज ही नहीं है, इतना पैसा ही नहीं है कि आप इसमें इन्वेस्ट कर सकें, दैट कॉजेज इकोनॉमिक वाटर स्कैरसिटी. यू कैन सी इन द पिक्चर, it is a map of India showing the states hit by water scarcity. You will be shocked. So many states of India are experiencing water scarcity. From here you can see Rajasthan, obviously it's a desert area, it's an arid zone. Gujarat, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. All of them is experiencing intense, severe or minor water scarcity.